Good morning. I am leaving the Super 8 and it was probably the best Super 8 I've ever been in, especially with a great hiker rate of 67 bucks a night. So a few things this morning. I think the girls all decided to take a 00, so I am walking on alone, which is a little bit of a different feeling. I started off alone, but I've pretty much been with others most of the hike. The other thing today, there's some long stretches with not much water. So I've got to carry not only a full food bag, but both of my water bottles. I have 2 full liters right now. It looks like there's not a reliable water source for at least 9 miles. And then there's several within a couple miles and it's kind of dry again. I've camped alone in the woods before, especially when I did the Foothills Trail. It was pretty desolate in December. But I sleep better when there's at least a few other people around. So I'm hoping to find somewhere to camp with some others, but that may not happen. The crowds are much thinner as we've gotten a little further north, and the first shelter area is like almost 19 miles from here. And I don't know if I got 19 in me today. Well, let's see. I'm just gonna kind of go play it by ear and see how I feel. Right now it's just before 8 a.m. I kind of took my time getting going this morning, but walking by 8 is good for leaving the hotel. All right, not quite back to trail yet. I still got about another 100 yards. That was another good thing about the Super 8. It's very walkable, just a few 100 yards from the trailhead. So, all right, I'll get back to y'all when I get to hiking. Snakes are out early this morning. Another garter snake here, and it's still just a few minutes after 8, and this guy's right next to the trail. Guess what, y'all? Check this out. I'm a third of the way done with the trail. Holy manoli. It's hard to believe. That means though 2/3 to go. I better get to trucking. So one thing I forgot to tell you all this morning is it's gonna be hot. They're talking near record temperatures. It's, I think it's May 19th. And today the high is 86. In the next 3 days, the highs are like 93, 96, and 94. So it's gonna be hot. I'm already sweating like crazy. But man, I kind of came out of town a little bit sluggish this morning, just slowly easing my way. And once I saw that third of the way to Katahdin sign, I don't know, bunch of new pep in my step. Got a big climb this morning, so I'm hoping to get that done before it starts heating up too much. The snakes are out in full force this morning. It's still not even 9 a.m. I don't know exactly what that is. I'm guessing I don't know if that's a rat snake or I think it's a rat snake. Comment below if you know what this is. It's a little guy. He's probably only not 14 inches or so. Here's the first purple rhododendrons. The other rhododendron blooms are sort of pink. Again, these things like as big as my fist. All right, it's 11:30 a.m. I've done about 9 miles so far. Another big grove of all purple rhododendron leaves. It's not leaves, sorry, flowers. So pretty. Anyway, I was looking back when I took a break a few minutes ago at the picture of the snake I asked for help identifying earlier. I'm fairly certain it's not a rat snake after looking at the picture. I'm pretty sure it's a water snake. I'm not sure which one. I'm still trying to learn how to identify snakes. I don't know if that's like a broadband water snake or a common water snake. So still, if you know what it is for sure, and I know you need location for true identification. So I am just north of Daleville or Roanoke, Virginia. All right, so, oh man, look at all these. It's crazy, they're just so pretty. And there's a water source down there. I still have some water that I started with this morning. And there's a couple water sources in the next few miles. There's one in about 2 miles that I'm probably gonna go ahead and stop and have lunch there. That'd be 11 for the day so far, so at that point. So probably have lunch there and then keep pushing on. What a perfect place to have lunch and get water. And I'm probably gonna soak my feet in this water as well for a bit. Check this out, beautiful rocks, flowing water. Beautiful flowers everywhere. All right, break time. Look at this lunch spot. I just had some banana bread with pre-cooked bacon and some glazed pecans. Listen to the water rushing right there. Check this out. Got another little waterfall right here. And just rhododendrons lining the whole bank. If you're sitting at home eating at your kitchen or eating in a break room or in your office somewhere, let me tell you, having lunch right here, this is living. The purple rhododendron blooms are everywhere. Although these are not really as purple. These are more pinkish purple. These are probably more like all the original ones I saw that were pink. Those this morning were purple. And look at them, they're everywhere. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, it just views on and on and on. The trail just came out onto the Blue Ridge Parkway. Been going along it for a few minutes, or a few miles, I guess. Not real sure. I think the trail just follows the road for a minute. So I'm gonna come over here and look at this viewpoint. So this is Taylor Mountain. Man, walking along the Blue Ridge Parkway is quite interesting. A picnic table, and there's just big view after big view. I just took a break at that picnic table. And I did a little planning here for the rest of the day. So right now it's 3:15. The shelter that I was aiming for that would have given me 18.6 miles for the day is a 1/4 mile off trail. But I'm gonna have to go there because I need water, and that's the only place there's water. But the comments show that it's a smaller shelter. I don't want to sleep in the shelter anyway. There's a comment that there's maybe one tent site. So I gotta go down to the shelter to get water and I'll check it out. But just depending on the situation down there, I may go ahead and just do that extra half mile a day to get the water and then keep going north. There's some comments about a couple stealth sites about 0.6 beyond the shelter, or maybe I can find another. I don't know, we'll see. I should be there pretty early. It looks like the terrain's been real easy, and the terrain map looks pretty dang simple for these next 3 miles. So I should be there by 4:30 and maybe 4:45. And I'll let you know what I decide to do. All right, the Blue Ridge Parkway is up there. let it focus after my hand's gone. And this is just a big, huge old retaining wall. It's probably, it doesn't look it on this camera, but it's probably 25 feet high or maybe taller. Let me zoom it out a little bit to see if that helps with perspective. And there's, of course, a huge view that way. All we have is huge, beautiful Virginia views. When people talk about getting the Virginia blues, I don't know. I think I just get the Virginia views. Well, I stopped at that shelter back there, and it was at least a quarter mile off the trail, downhill. The water source was close to the shelter though, so that was nice. I drank about 1 liter of water and filled up 2 liters. There were already 4 people there that had just cambled up all their water and were leaving. There was one other guy I talked to for a bit while we were filtering water. And I could have stayed there in the shelter, but there was one guy there. He had like dirty clothes, like socks and everything all over the picnic table. He had clothes hung all over the trees behind the shelter. And while me and the other guy sat there and talked and filtered water, he never spoke to us. So I didn't really want to stay there. Plus, I just want to get a few more miles. It's still early. It's just now about 5 o'clock. I did find some stealth sites. You probably can't really see on here, right back here, but they're not great. And like I said, it's only 5, so I still have 3.5 hours or 3 hours and 45 minutes or so, and it's still dark. And I've done just over 19. So I think I'm gonna keep walking a bit. It looks like it's pretty easy walking, and get at least another mile maybe, unless I see a really cool spot between now and then. Otherwise, I'll get to 20 and then stop at the first decent stealth spot I find. Right now, as has been for a while, the Blue Ridge Parkway is just maybe less than 100 yards from me. The trail just kind of follows along back and forth around the Blue Ridge. So I don't think there'll be much traffic at night. There's sporadic cars now, but I would think overnight it would be quiet. All right, I'll let you know where I figure out where I'm gonna camp. So for the first time in a bit, I got a little trail magic. I just came up on the road where the trail crosses the Blue Ridge Parkway. And there was a car parked and a bunch of hikers, and they yelled, "Do you want trail magic?" I think they're about to leave. So I got up there, I got a Gatorade, a bag of salt and vinegar chips, and a big size oatmeal pie. Man, I'm just like dancing, trying to keep the sun off my face here. So it was very welcome. But it put me behind a little bit, so there were actually a bunch of people gonna try to camp right on the road, which I'm not sure if that's a good idea. So I'm gonna keep going and see if I can find a stealth spot close by here. So I'm gonna stop at the next, it's 5:30 now. I'm gonna stop at the next decent spot I find. This guy's just hanging out on our campfire ring. I made it to camp. I got a good spot. Everything's set up. There's 3 of us here tonight. There's this cool little lizard hanging out right here by me. If you can see him or not. Anyway, my concern right now is water. I had carried in 2 liters, and there's not water for another 5 miles tomorrow. So I picked my meal to cook tonight that used the least amount of water. Anyway, gonna eat dinner and then go to bed. I felt pretty good. I did 22.3 miles today, and I feel good after the day of rest yesterday. Probably do about 20 again tomorrow. Looks like the terrain's gonna be fairly easy again. So I'm just gonna eat and go to bed and do it all again tomorrow. So have a good night. Good morning. It is 6:45 a.m. and I'm rolling north. Sorry, I was a little bit abrupt when I did the closeout last night. There was a couple people there with me that I didn't really know very well, and one was already in his tent, so I didn't want to be talking too loud to my camera here. I'll tell you what, I hope it's not here to stay, but this location I was at last night, the bugs were horrible, dive bombing me the whole time I was trying to eat dinner. Look at there, more rhododendrons. All right, so I'm getting in a little bit earlier start today than yesterday. Not really sure what today's gonna hold. There is a shelter at 19.9 miles from me, and that's kind of my tentative aiming point, and we'll just see how I feel. Maybe I'll go there, maybe I'll stop a little short, maybe I'll go a little further. The big determinant of a lot of this is gonna be water. So I have to go almost 6 miles this morning before I can get any water. So I had to conserve a little bit last night, have a little bit left, but I got a couple hours before I can get water. And then during the middle part of the day, I think there's quite a bit of water, and then I need to look a little more at the end of the day and see how that's looking. The other thing I got to determine is what I'm going to do about this next town stop. So Glasgow's coming up. Probably be there tomorrow, actually. It's 57 miles, but with doing the bigger miles, I can do it in 3 days pretty easily, I think. I just stayed in a hotel for 2 nights. I don't know that I need to stay in a hostel. The town actually has a free shelter in the middle of town. So I don't know, I may just hitch in, resupply, stay at that shelter. Maybe I'll decide to stay at the hostel. I'm not really sure yet. Definitely not zeroing. I'm gonna do full days. Haven't really thought ahead to my next zero yet, but it's gonna be a little while, at least a week or so. Wow, would you look at this view? We got flowers in the bottom of the screen. I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit here. Look at that. Clouds between the mountains. Dang, that's pretty. Hey deer. This deer is maybe 12 feet from me. Hey baby girl. I'm gonna keep on walking and let you be now. All right, I've come out to this road. The water is below the road and I need to get water. So I'm not sure if I need to go down that other trail behind me or if the trail's gonna go back down by the water. Okay, it's 20 after 9 a.m. I just got water and I chugged some and I got 2 liters and I had a snack, a little break. Done right at 6 miles already today. And now we're gonna start climbing, and it's gonna be a tough day because it's hot. It's already warm and humid. The high today I think is like 94 degrees. So I dipped my hat in the cold river, get that wet, and I'm gonna get to climbing up this hill here. This one doesn't look too bad yet so far, but it's good. I know this first climb's 1,000 feet, so I better get at it, and I'll talk to you on a bit. Hello, it's 10:25 a.m. I've done 8.2 miles already. That one climb was work in this humidity, and we got a really big climb coming up a little bit later. It's a little over 2,000 foot climb, and it looks steep, so hopefully it's switchbacked a little better than the map shows, but a lot of these are not switchbacked. Anyway, one cool thing to let you all know about, my friend Bill, that is one of my motorcycle buddies, lives just, I don't really know where he lives, north of where I'm at, somewhere near Skyline Drive, and we've been planning to meet up when I come through his area because he's only about 30 minutes from the southern end of Skyline. However, with the pace I'm at right now, he's going to be out of town while I'm coming through there. So we were looking at maps and figuring things out here. I talked to him on the top of that big hill, and it looks like I got to push the miles for a few days. I was kind of planning to do that anyway, but now I have a reason I need to. I'm going to try to get to Reed's Gap by Tuesday, and that means I'm committing to all 20+ mile days between now and Tuesday. And he's going to pick me up there, and that's also the gap for Devil's Backbone. So when we get to see Bill, he's going to take me to Devil's Backbone. And Devil's Backbone is a brewery that also has a campground, and they allow free camping and free showers to through hikers. So that's my plan. I'm not going to stay in Glasgow now that that's the situation. I'm just going to try to hitch into Glasgow. Hopefully I can get a quick hitch, resupply, and get back on the trail tomorrow. Get a few miles in. That'll make it a little easier on Monday and Tuesday. And then I'll get to shower and everything on Tuesday evening. And then that'll put me only 18 miles after that to Waynesboro, where I plan to at least stay one hotel night. I don't know if I'll zero or not. I may be ready for a zero by then, but I'm definitely going to have to do laundry. So anyway, it was good to kind of get that worked out. Now I just got to do my part and walk the miles to make it happen. All right, it's about 11:30 a.m. right now. I just had a quick lunch. I guess first lunch probably, because I'll probably have another one. I've done almost 10 miles so far. There's a creek right behind me. I took my shirt off and rinsed it all out just to cool off and rinse all the salt and sweat and everything out of it. And now I'm about ready to start pushing north again. I think we got a pretty good climb. It's a 2,000-foot climb coming up soon. Oh my goodness, it is hot. I'm dripping in sweat. I just saw that little snake, but I couldn't really get very good footage of it. It was this little baby garter snake that hid under a log. But about this climb, when I looked at it earlier, I thought it was 2,000 feet. I didn't realize after it leveled off for a quarter of a mile, it went straight up another 1,000. So in total, this one climb's a little over 3,000 feet, and I'm not there yet. And it is hot. It's 2 o'clock. Actually it's 2:30. I just took about a 30-minute break and by a stream, got some water, chugged some water with Propel powder, had some Skittles. I soaked my feet in the water for a few minutes, and then I got my shirt all soaked and kind of cleaned up the sweat again and got my shirt cleaned out. And I'm feeling like $1,000,000. But all it's going to take is about 50 more steps. I'm going to be drenched in sweat again. We've still got another 1,000 foot or so, I think, to climb. But anyway, we got just over 5 miles to the shelter. And I'm going to at least go there and then evaluate when I get there how I feel. And I may go on another 3 miles to a spring that apparently has some campsites. Today has been brutal so far. This heat, and probably the more climbing than we've done any day so far. I'm going to run the route later and see how much it is. It's kicking my butt. Almost to the top, and there's a pretty iconic thing up here called the Guillotine. We're entering the Thunder Ridge Wilderness! And we're only about 0.2 from the Guillotine. All right, here's the Guillotine. Let me zoom out a little bit. Check this out. This huge boulder just suspended between the others. And I gotta walk down here under it. Just got some water at a really ice cold spring. The shelter is only supposed to be 0.2 from here. I got plenty of water. I got extra. I'm carrying 3 liters. Plus I drank some there. Washed my face and my head a little bit in the cold water. And I feel pretty good actually, but I did look at the, I ran the route that I did today. It was right at 6,000 feet of climbing, which is a ton. In 20 miles, so I did, when I get to the shelter, it'd be 19.9 trail miles. So let's just say 20. Almost 6,000 feet of climbing and 90 degrees. So I was really hoping to get a couple extra miles. I've only been on the trail 10 hours and 15 minutes today. It's just now 5 o'clock. But you know, I'm just done. I'm gonna let my body rest. Get extra rest tonight, so I'll be good to go tomorrow. Now that's all contingent upon there being good tenting sites at this shelter. So I'll let you know. All right, got to camp. Got a pretty decent tent site. I've already had dinner. Got all my chores done, and as you can see, I'm laying down, and it's not even 7 o'clock. But there's nothing else to do, and the bugs are driving me crazy. But in the tent, they can't get to me because I got this, you know, mesh. So anyway, I'm just gonna lay in here resting. Gonna get up early tomorrow and start hiking. So stay tuned next time as we'll get into Glasgow, resupply, and then go on another day north of there. All right, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for joining in.